Round
discussion.
table, yeah.
I love this. This is
What is that?
awesome.
That was a documentary. They said they asked Bob Marley. They were like, what they say? How do you use the fruits of Babylon? And he's like, Babylon ain't got no fruits. I use technology because what I'm saying it's here, but ain't no fruits in Babylon. All right, we finally got it popping. You know what I'm saying? We are here live in effect. Um,
Good day.
one more
Welcome,
time.
welcome, 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 welcome.
Peace and love. This is our first live edition of
Woo!
the Polka Dot Rabbit podcast here at Reiki Services.
Yes.
You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Live
And,
and in effect.
live and in effect, and
Yes.
we got it popping tonight. And as always, we bring in an amazing guest. We've got a lot of information, but let me go ahead and start like I always do. Polka Dot Rabbit podcast. We're here to uplift humanity, okay, and especially help give the information to the melanated people around the planet that have been uh, not given this information, have to search really hard to find the truth. So we're going to assist y'all in that journey. You know what I'm saying? So um, if you haven't already, go to yourbrozo.com. Get my book, Bicultural Living and Living in the World of Illusions. That's all I really got. Melissa, go ahead.
Well, just as that, Ricky Services, CEO and founder, all about health, wealth, and basically making sure we take care of our physical, our mental, our social, our spiritual, and now the financial and emotional. So this is what I focus on, bringing health together and knowledge together and practitioners like this wonderful gentleman here who has also been a part of Reiki Services. So we're going to introduce him. Who do we introduce him? Do I? He's special in my heart. Then I'm going to let him introduce himself because he's a lot.
Okay. Well, my name is Timothy Gibson, and I have been a partner with Melissa. She's allowed to bring me in Reiki Services. Um, I am a holistic practitioner. I was trained in tantric, energetic tantric sessions, shamanistic tantric. And so many different ways or different names you can call it, but I like to just call it energetic management for the basics.
That's what I'm saying.
You know, you get called too many names, and the names attach too much dogma. But my mission here is to uplift everybody. Everyone needs these tools in order to handle themselves better. When you want to path and know yourself more, these just little things you wish someone can give you.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said uplift humanity. You're a part of uplifting humanity.
Yeah, you're doing it.
You know?
Yeah, it's interesting because a lot of times we talk about a lot of us not knowing that we have these type of resources that we've all, I'm talking about relationship resources. I'm talking about family, growing, raising children, health. We have these resources, but a lot of us don't know they're available for us. And it's a plethora of this information, and then, you can go out there and just find like an individual, like Reiki Services. It's pretty much a one-stop shop.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Literally.
Mind, body, and spirit.
Yes. Yeah. And like she said, and we'll talk about this a little bit because on March 16th, we're doing another Health and Wealth Expo. You know what I'm saying? So we'll talk about that a little bit later as well. But
jump into Mr. Timothy
Mr. Tim,
Gibson.
yeah.
Let's jump it.
Energy management. What we got, man? What we got on this energy management?
What does that mean?
So energy management, well, it's like a term I like to use, but it covers such a broad aspect. But it consists of about three different components. One is mental real estate. And this
I like that mental real estate. All right. Oh yeah, go ahead.
And in society that we live in today, everything is fighting for your attention and fighting for space in your mind, and your brain doesn't forget anything. So the first component to energy management is learning how to filter things in through your mind and how to process things, to how to program and deprogram.
Okay, that's something that's sounds very technical, but methodical at the same time. So, can you break that down just a little bit for me?
Well, always stop me if I'm getting too technical. I went
no,
my background's math and physics.
Shame. No. Okay.
So it's simple. The terms. That's why it's hard to read things in the book and really learn it because the terms can only express so much of it. But I realized in my career, in my practice, the biggest thing that we have to deal with in order to tap in more to our native selves
Mhm.
or more of our whole selves, our
Mhm.
higher version of ourselves,
Mhm.
it's really just removing the things that has been imprinted upon us, but we did not have the knowledge to choose. So that's what I mean by reprogramming and deprogramming. Once you identify something that was imprinted on you,
Mhm.
you have the choice of, is this going to serve me? Do I want to see how my life is without this operation?
Mhm.
And then, that's where you go to the deprogramming, and you get to try those things out and see what works for you.
So when you're saying about deprogramming,
Hmm.
how do you allow them? When do when does a person know that they have to be deprogrammed? Sometimes now we know a lot in the conscious community, spiritual community. A lot of times we understand some of that, but when you're talking to somebody who's new, who and especially me, I work in mental health, so I can bring some of those things to the table. But where how do you approach someone and allow them to understand this deprogramming process needs to happen, and how does it happen? How do they become self-aware of the needs that they have to be able to do to deprogram? Because you have to have that self-awareness.
That's right.
How
You
do
have
you
to have.
get there? How did they
So
get there?
when you work with people, they always they scatter around, so it's hard to pinpoint it for a lot of people. But the simplest way is you get someone who they're complaining about something,
Mhm.
some type of philosophy or action or cycle they have in their life, and it's not getting them the results that they want.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Okay.
If it's not getting you the results that you want, you need to really take a hard look of that programming. Are you carrying on something that's not really serving you just because it's attached to your identity?
Mhm.
Um, but that's the biggest wall you can show people. Is it getting your philosophy in your life? Is it getting you where you need to be or where you want to be? Is it producing the results?
So what if they don't know what the results are supposed to be?
That goes to the second stage of work.
Mm. So this is what you take the people through, and I'm going to get Dr. Zoe. I need you to. I have ADHD. I mean, I'm just moving. But anyway, what do you get to the second stage when you're saying that that's the second stage of programming? Walk us through what this process looks like, because this is what you do now, right?
Yep.
So walk us through identifying, acknowledging, investigating, and then how do we nurture that?
Okay. So whenever I receive a client, I'll take you through as if um, like you're shadowing me for a client.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the person comes with a certain idea of what they need to fix. They said, I need a energy realignment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
As soon as they start talking about energy realignment, that means it's something ethereal that they don't really know exactly what's affecting them in their life.
Mhm.
So that's when you need to ask leading questions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I like to ask, if your session with me is success, what would your life look like afterwards?
Mhm.
Bingo. Like that.
Mm.
Like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it always puts the ball in their court. So I don't
Mhm.
like to tell people what's wrong with
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a firm believer that people are born perfect. You're more perfect than you know,
Mhm.
and we just have to get our own way. You
Mhm.
know. So yeah, once they realize and search inside themselves what they think their life will be afterwards,
Mm-hmm.
then we start contrasting it with how they're living now.
Mhm.
I help people get realigned. I don't necessarily say I heal people because the real healing comes when you can help people identify
What it
what
is.
thought pattern
Yeah.
so they can see it come up.
Mm-hmm.
And every day that they feel that urge, they're building willpower and awareness. It's building up their spiritual power.
Mm.
Yes.
So that means coming by and just,
Mhm.
you know.
Right. Right.
Um, so most of the session happens at that point before they even get on the table.
Mm-hmm.
You always ask them what would their life look like.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't have a vision, then they can't really be healed because they wouldn't know what it looks like.
Mm.
Yeah.
They have to have like a goal.
They have to.
Yeah.
You have to.
How do you set goals for help? How do you help them identify and set goals for themselves?
Mhm. Well, it's my expertise allows me to nurture everybody individually. I meet them all different levels. If they are, Muslim, if they are Christian, whatever beliefs they have in their head, I work with that
Mm-hmm.
to help to expand that more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, ADHD. It must be contagious. What was that question
What?
again?
It's the solar flares. That's what it is.
We're so far ahead. The positive parts of ADHD is we are the most creative people, and we also are able to go ahead of what the question was. So you have already gone far ahead, and now you have to backtrack. I understand.
Okay.
I get it. I get it.
Believe me. We know.
That's why I look.
Yes, I know, because it's just so you have to make sure the whole thing about for being present, it's there. But I really needed you to help when you were guiding us through like goals.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the
Specific,
goals.
yeah.
When you're saying to a client, potential client, how do we identify your goals? And they're like, oh, I don't know. Some people think generic goals. Here. So how do you take them from this step to this step?
All right. So my little shortcut, the simple goals will come on along the way. My way of guiding people, I help them, I ask them, do they have a vision of their highest version of themselves?
That's nice. That's nice. That's nice.
What's the best version of yourself you can imagine?
Mm-hmm.
And that's always the goal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if they,
I can see that.
if they're religious, I expand on how do they identify themselves as a child of God.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And these are things that make people have to fight inside themselves
Yeah.
instead of you just saying, your chakras messed up, something like that.
That's not telling me anything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because you gotta start. You gotta find that foundation in which you can come to an agreement on, and then start moving forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you have to reach for the highest thing up there
Mm-hmm.
because everything else is below that.
Mm-hmm.
You reach for the highest thing, and on your journey up there, you acquire those things naturally easier,
Mm-hmm.
and you're not really left out there lost
Mhm.
because you're cultivating something that's beyond just your physical presence. Most people's goal is only physical.
Yeah.
So it's a type of situation in which, like, all right, let's say somebody might not be in shape, and you look at it and be like, first thing is we gotta get you in shape. You know what I mean? And is that, I mean, and then after that, it's kind of okay. Now we got to work in your body, but now next is the mind and spirit. Is it kind of like you walk through certain steps to get, you know what I mean, like there?
Well, I would think it would be your mind first before you get your physical, would you?
Yeah, but you can work. It's the same pole. You can work from the bottom up or the top down.
Oh, interesting.
That's how you can meet people wherever they are on that spectrum. Because most people don't have an imagination. Their imagination may have been shut down when they were a child, and they can't even visualize that.
There you go. I like
that.
that.
Or you can start from the top up. People who aren't that grounded, all they do is visualize. And
They
know how to bring it back down.
I'm up in the clouds. I'm in the clouds.
And the goal is all about helping that person realize their problems are just things they don't have skills for yet.
Yeah, exactly.
And you don't know you don't have the skills if you don't have time to look at yourself honestly.
Or even have somebody that knows more than you. I'm gonna keep on saying this. That knows more than you to show you. Okay, well, to guide you through it.
That's right.
Because it's like at this point, like we're saying all the time, it's like at this point, I love to meet people that know more than me. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm listening to you. Yeah, I listen to you because you know more about tantra than me. So I'm gonna listen to you. You know about mental health. So I might know about music. We can talk about that. But like, drop an ego, the pride, and just learn. Become a student of life. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Yeah.
And it's easy to read about dropping the ego.
Yeah.
People think the ego is like this horrible thing.
Yeah.
But it's that same ego that drives you to your greatness.
Exactly right.
It's that ego that helps you desire to be God-like. And if you cut off that ego just because of one aspect of it, you can never. It's like I don't know right where I'm about to say the opposite of humbleness. Because ultimately, you're saying that nothing.
It's like that type of confidence. Because I realized like one thing about like dealing with ego, and once you have that the ego done properly, that's when it feeds the self-esteem, the confidence. So instead of you being like, oh, I'm a bad blah blah blah, you can still like humbly still go. I mean, not even, I don't know if humbly is the right word, but you can get to your goal of being whatever you want to do with that right vision, and which isn't stepping on anybody's toes or making yourself too arrogant. It's like tunnel vision or focus. You're like, all right, let's get ready, let's get it done, and that's confidence because you feel like you can do anything. You know what I mean?
And confidence is different from arrogance.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll be mixing that up. But go ahead.
But confidence without competence
Yeah.
is hubris.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's real
We
talk.
know. You've seen that.
Confidence
In
without
action.
competence. But yeah, so I'll just tie it into the Tantra. People talk about sexual energy and how you can use it to heal. But what's arousal for the most part?
Yeah.
It's desire.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Desire is what drives your being of what you want to accomplish. You know, I know people hear it in a bad sense a lot of times, but you can't control your life force energy without the desire to do something.
Yeah.
And if your desires to do something is coming from outside influences, and you can never identify that, you will never find you're going to sooner or later you have to deal with this when you pass on.
Yeah.
And a lot of people fail passing on gracefully because all these floods of emotions and stuff are coming through their body. They suppress all their life, and they never got the skills to even just breathe through it and release it.
So you go ahead.
I think about this a lot. The more and more we just come to this new age and this day and time that we're in, like how much time that we've had on this planet that have been wasted because of the programming, the distractions. You know what I'm saying? But it's kind of cool at the same time because at least we picked it up.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And we can work instead of, okay, we had our fun maybe 30 years, whatever case may be. Now it's time to get to work. You know what I'm saying? For me, that's like I'm happy to see that. I'm cool. My fun is over. Like you go to college, you have fun with it. Now you got to get a job, and get to work. So now in life, it's like, all right, I realize that this place has been lying to us from the jump. It's an illusion, all that stuff. And now let's get to work. And that's when you have to have the right teachers, the right people that can guide you through it.
And that's the blessing. That's an advanced place to be at.
Yeah, exactly.
And some people reach that point and they go back into, well, I already learned all this stuff. Now I just need to do all this. I already learned. And they never really get back to the point of realizing that everything they learn has to spiral up. You have to keep emptying out the cup to get more.
I have a question on that.
But I'm saying about the anchoring part, you need a good teacher. And when you're dealing with anybody that's doing healing services, that's influencing your psyche somewhat, their perception always can get in there, So that's why I always try to ground people to their highest version of their guide, because that's ultimately going to be their deepest spiritual teacher. But yeah.
So since you were talking about that part, and you encounter a client, so you basically said you keep evolving and keep learning. When you encounter people, which I've heard, I've done all my work. To me, if you ain't dead, you did all your work. And I'm like, did you transcend before me? I just didn't know. So how do you, work with those particular clients when you have clients like that feel that they've done all the work? Do you ever stop learning? Do you ever stop doing the work? What does that mean to you?
So this is when my Tantra lifestyle comes into play, because just like in relationships, people have their own orgasmic patterns and stuff. But you have to listen to not necessarily the words, because the words that they're speaking from, they rarely even have an identity of who they really are.
Yeah.
It's usually something I call the counter personality, or it's that identity they're attached to. They don't want to let go, because if you haven't grounded to something higher and you let go of who you think you are, that's the biggest thing people are scared of, losing that personality and what they'll be on the other side. But I like working with those people simply because the tough cookies have the most to release.
This is Tim, just to let you know. Please check him out when you
Mhm.
come and you find yourself making these statements.
Mhm.
Because I've done all my work, but your ass is still here on Earth.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly,
I'm
exactly.
like, what part is that?
Exactly.
You know, and I have to just roll my eyes
Yeah.
roll.
That's right. And even if you did all your work here, you'll be on another level of the astral plane,
Exactly.
doing
Right.
work to reach the next level.
Yeah, next level.
Exactly.
It never stops. You know what I'm saying? You know.
That's common sense, you know.
Mhm.
So usually those people don't have a way of thinking or another system of thinking in
Yeah,
order
exactly.
to gauge their process.
Like the dogma thing comes in
Yep.
there.
Mm.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah, and they they think, well, I can do it here because I'll be straight in heaven. It's like, well, you might have the same assignment in heaven because you ain't get it here.
That's right. That's right.
That's that
And
part.
it's almost guaranteed.
Yeah.
So if they say they've done all their work, they're really saying that I can't handle doing any more work.
Wow.
Yeah, I can
Is
see
that what
I
they're
can see
saying
that.
too, you think?
Yep. It's like
I
I've
can
done
see
all
that.
my work.
Mhm.
That's why I don't want to look even more at myself
Yeah.
because
Wow.
the work I did was already hard, and
Mhm.
I'm just not ready for it anymore.
Okay. So how do you work with those people? Or can you work with those people?
You offer a new way of thinking. I do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I do. Sometimes if they know a lot, so some of my worst clients are the real most spiritual ones, especially into
But we won't say worst clients.
Well,
The most challenging.
Difficult.
there are some
We
people
ain't
you
gonna
can't
call
help.
it because our words speak.
Mhm.
There are some people that you can't help.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They
Always.
don't
Yeah.
want to choose. So then those are the
Mhm.
ones we won't even say difficult. I said challenging, but the ones who don't want to evolve to
Mhm.
that level. So they want to say, I'm stopping school. Just like when you look at it as a school, I want to keep going. I want to go higher. I'm good right here. So what am I doing on this level? You know what I'm saying? Or I
Mhm.
mean, am I making something of myself, creating my own business app, environment? I don't know.
Mhm.
But some people are comfortable for where they are. And just like you said, you got to
Mhm.
meet people where they are.
Mhm.
People aren't really comfortable where they are.
Mhm.
But they'll say that.
Yeah,
I'm
they'll
just
say,
giving
yeah.
you,
Yeah.
I'm playing
That's that
devil's
lip service they
advocate.
giving everybody.
Yes. Yes. That's all I'm doing. I'm just playing this whole
The
devil's
devil's
advocate.
advocate.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. Um, so I've worked on over 500 people,
Mhm.
Mhm.
600 people easily, you know. Um, and the people who tend to get a lot of knowledge about certain, field and feel like they have everything they know when they meet someone else, like they can't
Mhm.
learn from somebody else.
Mhm.
They use that knowledge as a barrier to. Let me get this right. They're using the knowledge as a shield, and just because they can repeat the terminology in the words,
Bingo. Bingo.
Regurgitate the information, right?
Bingo. Oh my God.
know.
Because even therapy clients do that.
Yeah.
They'll be the main ones. They can repeat you to sound like a whole therapist themselves.
Operative versus speculative, like they
Okay,
say
yeah,
on
that's right.
Freemasonry,
Yes.
because you can read the book all day about how to, to get to Stone Mountain. You can read a map, but if your ass can't know how to get on 285,
That's
to get off the right exit, you looking crazy as hell.
If you haven't met that person who's been going up there that knows which path to take when it rains,
Exactly.
Ooh, yes.
or what
Exactly.
shoes to wear,
Exactly.
Mhm,
Exactly.
mhm.
or when's a good time
Operative.
to go.
I
Yep.
like that. I like that. That's
Mhm.
it. That's it.
Um, but yeah, so this even when I reach those people, I still go to the main mental real estate part of grounding them to their highest version of themselves.
Yeah. Mental real estate.
Got it right there.
I like that.
So you go to explain how mental real estate works. I'm listening, I'm connecting real estate with the whole idea of having mental, what are we talking about? You know.
Okay. You being in charge of your mental faculties instead of was a saying that if you're not mastering yourself, someone else is.
Mm. God damn.
You
That's
know,
true.
and
Mm.
what happens, this is part of the shamanistic part. Um, when you think a thought long enough, you may feel it in your heart. Then you feel long enough, you're gonna say it. You say it long enough, you're gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
Do it long enough, it becomes a habit.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a habit long enough, it becomes a spiritual entity.
Mm.
Ooh, I
Oh,
need
wow.
you to let's do that. Listen carefully, everyone. Restate that same thing that you
Okay.
just said.
So the process with the importance of mental real estate.
Yes.
You think a thought long enough, it's going to drive an action and an emotion. Once you do an action long enough without being aware of it, it becomes a habit. You do a habit long enough without being aware of it, it becomes a spiritual entity. It becomes a spiritual entity long enough without you knowing about it, it becomes a possession.
Oh, like damn,
Very
like we were
good.
just talking about that old Miles Davis thing with it,
Mhm.
Yeah.
oh
Yeah.
That's right.
yeah.
It's a frequency. It's a whole
Yeah.
realm of it.
But it goes both ways, right?
That's right.
Because like that's why like affirmations and stuff and all that kind of stuff can give that. I guess it's the same way of having that negative demon, and that in the angel.
Positive thoughts,
That's right.
Yeah.
That's and how you use them.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you get to some occultists, it's about how they use those entities.
Mm.
Maybe even the angels, not that if you take away the dogma of it,
Yeah.
they're energetic frequencies.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
And they
yes.
live on certain realms to do certain things.
Exactly.
But everyone follows order or a law and universal law.
It's interesting you say that because I know, like, in dealing like with like Vodun and stuff, and even voodoo, when they talk about like the Loa, the spirits, and like having spirits go out, or even like dealing like what do they call them, the dwarf spirits, how making them go out and do things for you. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Because you got that frequency. I never really thought about it that way. I thought of it a different way, but that makes even more sense because you're giving that energy out to to work.
And you do it for a little bit because you're doing it to protect yourself somehow, or for power, or whatever you think you're going to get something to serve you, right?
Yeah.
But what keeps us from raising up our kundalini and opening up our nervous system and our energetic pathways are those holes in our auric field that come from certain thoughts we were thinking for so long that become some type of entity that's sucking off a straw. It's not because it's evil, it's just that you're giving it up.
Yeah.
And, you leave sweets around the house, you go get ants. So the mental real estate is the whole concept of learning how to patch up those leaky areas, leaky windows in your mind in order to just work with what you already have more.
Yes.
So that's what I call mental real estate. And that can be all these advertisements, anything. Everything is about fighting for a space in your mind. Because
That's true.
if they can get in your mind, you can create a reality of it.
That's true.
I have a question, because I'm new in the Tantra. So when it comes to like sexual energy aspect and everything, is that okay? Because I from what I see and I'm learning now, it's like a lot of people don't have a really clue about how sex works and what it really is and the potential of it, etc. So is that something like a Tantra? Is that kind of like a more advanced level of it, like dealing just with the, just learning of how energy works?
I would not say it's the most. It's like one of the advanced parts, right? It's just understanding the mechanics of it behind the scenes helps you to assimilate more information on your own, so you can see what's going on. If I understand your question correctly, it's the highest part of.
Well, yeah, because it's kind of like I'm starting to learn now, like just doing sexual energy. There's so many different layers of it, in which just deal with energy, and it's like if you can just harness that type of energy, you know what I'm saying, and because it seems like the sexual energy has a certain potency, you know what I mean, that a lot of people aren't aware of.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, so this is what I like to do when I work with people. I try to not put anything in a box.
Yeah.
Because we're looking at it from down here, looking up.
Yeah.
And we don't know how expansive sexual energy is or all the other energy. So sexual energy could, I'm saying this phrase, it's pretty much all energy. But the combination of what makes it sexual energy is when two things come together to produce something new.
Yeah. Okay. I got you.
Okay.
So that's the letter and the number 6 represents like the phi and the golden ratio of how your body and everything is made on physical reality, which is a pattern of sexual energy. But you always know sexual energy because it's two things coming together to create something new. So yeah, like your cells are dividing multiplying is sexual energy, but it's also all a whole bunch of different energies that go into it too.
Mhm.
So we should expand our understanding of sexual energy because we don't really, no one's taking it to the highest level.
Mm-hmm.
Also, tell people not to get caught up in the masculine and feminine definitions and understandings of these because we can't comprehend how wide that
Yeah,
is.
why it expands.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially being
Yeah.
here.
Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about
Well, the phrase toxic masculinity and
Mhm.
toxic femininity and stuff like that, or the phrase I need you to be more masculine so I can be more feminine and stuff
Mhm.
like that. I believe that is a government program.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
think,
It even sounds like a program.
It's
just
just
in
it's a program.
How would I sound as a man saying I need you to be more feminine so I can be more masculine? It don't work the same way.
It does
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
But what people are really describing as toxic masculinity and toxic femininity are undeveloped feminine and masculine attributes
Mm.
that are
That's
supposed
true.
to come on during
Yeah.
puberty.
Yeah.
And give us some examples of what toxic or masculine,
Okay.
femininity or masculinity, toxicity in that. Just an example.
All right. So I'll
Just in case
use
people don't know.
the hunter archetype for masculine energy.
Mm-hmm.
The hunter archetype of masculine energy is the energy to go outside into the world and bring back resources for your community or your people. All right, and there's levels to it depending on the maturation of the person.
Okay.
So a great hunter will be someone that goes back and brings back resources for everyone he can. You know, we always talk about people who's helped the community, all these resources, all types of stuff, right? A low level of that is someone who will go out and harm anybody just to get something for himself.
Very selfish.
Selfishness. Like,
Yeah.
like pretty much all the male energy that runs the society.
Right.
Yeah.
And we call it male energy. But yeah, but
do you
the
think
female
it's
have-
coming from harm, like, if it's toxicity in their, trauma from childhood, which we can take that through? How do you look at that way? Because the reason why I know, you can say it, because a lot of times with toxicity in the masculine comes with not being able to, and I know you're gonna like, there she is, she's trying to put this therapy part in it, and I'm not. I'm just wanting to hear your part.
You should put it in
Yeah,
there.
but I say,
But I want to get
goes
your
along with
part of it. Does, but it has a lot to do with childhood and how people, how men grow, but
And program.
talk and how they're programmed, especially with working with the heart chakra.
Yeah.
Stop crying.
Yeah.
Don't do this. Don't show your feelings. If you ain't showing feelings, then how are you gonna be able to feel
You're not
when
a
you get
robot,
older?
right? Not a
You're not no robot.
So these are just some of the straight bullets you catch coming here on Earth.
Yeah.
And people only know what they know. And most of our parents, they know about emotions and how they're important. They don't have the skills of how to communicate them and what's really happening in those emotions.
Exactly.
So in childhood, like say if someone doesn't let the person go out and out their old merits try to create something and do something once. Say like a kid wants a new toy, but they don't have any means of making money or something like that. Or the parent may keep them from making money because they don't think it's time for them or something like that.
Yeah.
That part.
So all through puberty, these different things are awakening, and the parents or the society they're in imprints on that person. Either suppresses it or exaggerates it. Like say like the rose spirit for the woman. It's the part of the feminine attribute that wants to experience and give pleasure and find joy in things. But
They use it.
that's right. If a girl going through puberty wants to experience more pleasure and stuff like that, it's looked down in society, and we understand why, but we don't have systems in place or rites of passages like other indigenous cultures have to bring them up naturally. To balance it out. Sometimes people may get it, but
and people think everything is reciprocity, like I'm a give and take on everything.
Right.
So that's how women end up coming into that toxicity as well.
I think it's interesting because because we've been taken so far from an indigenous mindset, And like a lot of the other cultures, they've kept their cultures, even though it's not hadn't been as long as we've been around, but they've kept that culture, and they have these different things inside their culture, and it just keeps on. They're able to build as a group of people because they still have that. That's a big thing that we don't have. That's a whole different conversation. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's like it's very interesting again because we're having this conversation here, and you've been doing this for years. You've been doing this for years. You know what I'm saying? It's like we're starting to get it back. You know what I'm saying? And it's like we all signed that contract to be here.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? To help the people, and it's a beautiful. That I'm gonna tell you something. That's one of the biggest things I learned so far in the class in Grand Trine is that we have a ton of healers here on this planet that's trying to fix this. You know what I'm saying? And that gave me so much, you know, optimistic view on the world, as opposed to looking all now. Oh, you see the news, oh man, we were seated here to help fix this place.
Yes,
That's
especially
beautiful, man.
people are always saying, "Oh, the world is going to." I don't even like listening to that
Mm-mm.
because the world is already designed to do what it's going to do. You ain't going to do anything different right now. So, I mean, live the best part of what you can live and learn from people like Tim and learn from everyone that can give you have good spiritual acumen. Make sure because everybody does not. So,
Find you a teacher that can admit when he's wrong or does not know.
Oh yeah. That's
they're
a
not
big
going to do
deal.
that. They have a hard time with that. And it's not a right or wrong. I don't even look at things as being right or wrong. What resonates with you may resonate with me or somebody else. But it depends on, just like you said, where they are.
That's true. That is true because they're a teacher and they can teach a certain level, but they still got something to learn too.
They still got something to learn too.
Yeah, that's true. That's very good.
Everyone has something that they're good at. Like, you can learn from an asshole of how to be an asshole.
Yep, exactly. That's true. That's real talk, man.
That's on my trip.
It's a lot of people out there that have good information, but it's shadowed. The person is shadowing the information.
Yeah.
And even how they have the information, how they're applying it, throws people off from the information. But they still got good stuff.
They got good stuff, and somebody understands what they're saying.
That's right.
And that's where they are.
I remember Bobby Hemmett. When I first got into this stuff, I could not really listen or understand.
I was kind of like that too.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
What?
You sound like we talking in circles.
Exactly. But then,
then the more
then the light switch on. I'm like, damn, he's dropping.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's like that. I remember I had my mind blown by a homeless person when I was at Morehouse. So I've been practicing for probably about 14 years. And I started when I was 19. I was going to Morehouse. And I had a series of dreams and stuff too. But this homeless man in the West End. So the West End used to be a large conscious place because a lot of people from up north moved down into the West End to make it a great place. And then they hit him with the drugs. But yeah, he walked over. I was walking with me and my friend. I talked to my friend about the stuff I was learning, the energy and stuff. He walked over to me and said, "Hey, you believe in God?" I said, "Yeah, I believe in God." It's like, "Okay, you want to see if your God's more powerful than mine?" I was like, already I was throwing up. I was like, I don't want to abuse God's power or nothing like that. Or you can pray for something trivial, and that it instantly made me question my relationship with God of how fast He will show up, just because I know He's working big things. But can I pray for Him to knock this bottle over?
Yeah. Part of the program again,
man. He walked over to me. I was like, "All right, extra guy to move that bottle." I was like, "I'm not doing that." And he's like, "Well, I want you to get my guy to do it." He walked over and moved the bottle. It sounds simple. It was so profound to me.
You know, it's interesting to make
that's like the Bible story when the Pharaoh was getting his homeboys to change Moses the snake. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have to. Pharaoh didn't have to do it. He got Leroy and his homeboy. You know what I'm saying, to do it. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God, you would change the snake? Leroy, do that trick right there.
Right.
He changed it. Get that guy.
It's the small things like the rites of passages that we feel like we've lost. I'm a or Samaritan, and I was blessed to come across a lot of information of just how special this America is, or this landmass, or before it was called America, before the continents were broken apart, you know, um, and us here, just like it's a small few of us doing this. Tantra was made for a small few people.
Exactly.
I think a small few people went through the rites of passage and really got the benefit from it.
Yes,
I agree.
We like to think things were so different back then, but
but it changed my life.
we're here,
Yeah,
right.
From what I'm starting to learn, it was literally just a handful of civilizations that actually got it as a whole and implemented it. You know what I'm saying? They're some of the highest civilizations on this planet. You know what I'm saying? And it still was only a certain amount of people inside of the high civilization.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
A lot of ones that really have successful ones, we don't hear about that much. A lot of those people vanished.
Yeah.
A lot of towns of people, villages of people, tribes of people vanished.
Big community.
Yep. Not necessarily because they, just because they're vibrating at a different frequency. So we don't get those main complete systems. It's almost like you don't get real high spiritual knowledge if you can only deal with deities or entities that are male and female.
Oh,
Because it's a whole realm of spirits that don't see division.
Yeah, exactly. On an etheric plane, there's no gender on the etheric plane.
Right.
Yeah, that's why the show like as androgynon. I think so it's a whole realm of entities that have no division.
Exactly.
And they can't work through people if they say, I just want to get the masculine version out or the feminine version out.
We only need these avatars. Yeah, we only need avatars on this third dimension. You know what I'm saying? And then we get from this vibration. Then what? Then what do we all look like if we are able to speed up fast enough? Our own vibrations right now. You know what I'm saying? And what do we look like then?
And if, like I said, if we didn't have a body, but we were still male and female, what would your idea of a man be without a physical body?
Yeah, exactly.
What would your idea of a woman be without a physical body?
And he's like, and doing things that doesn't require even touch. Like, what is the name of that movie that Cocoon?
Oh yeah.
You remember? And they even had sex. Like energetic. Oh yeah.
I'm check it out.
Cocoon. Yeah. That was a classic. Like
sound dirty.
Way back. No, it's
no,
really just really talking
it's
about
like
what
light
you're
beings.
saying. They're light beings.
Light beings.
Wow.
It's a 80s movie, right? And it's an on around the ET and I know, right? And what's that other movie when the ET and Close Encounters, the Third Kind?
Okay.
That type of old like Raiders of the Lost, all that type of thing. 80s movie.
They knew stuff way ahead of time, but they were.
Oh yeah.
Telling people, showing it in movies, people didn't believe it.
Thank God, I know we blame the systems and powers to be of eliminating information, but we have the information.
Yeah, we have the information, and they're not ready for the information. You're not holding anything back. Well, people have to be ready for the information. That's what I feel like. It needs to be in doses.
One thing I'm starting to realize is like because you're just dealing with the Akashic records and being able to even tap into our own DNA, because like if we tumble back our DNA going back to, through time and time, we've got scholars, we got all this information, we got the experiences, good, bad, and ugly, but it's still inside of us. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And to me, this is a different subject, but to me, because of the day and time, us being a sun cycle, and the biggest talkers right now, solar flares, and neutrinos, and and the fact that like melanated beings have a whole aspect of their junk DNAs that it's not active right now. It's like right now is an even playing field. We all know that. You got the drive, you can make things happen. But there is a higher level to this avatar. You know what I'm saying? There is. You know what I'm saying? And we've seen it.
Right.
Because nobody on this planet can build with those edifices they've seen. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and
they look like me and you. So
some people that reached that higher level did it, smoking crack. Smoking cigarettes. Doing what we think we need to do.
Doing heroin.
Yeah, in order
to
making the best album that you ever heard. After you high of heroin.
So the best, most powerful spiritual people are the ones in church, but somehow the spiritual community talks bad about people in church.
Exactly.
It's
because they're disciplined, they're structured, there's discipline. It's supposed to be discipline and structure in the spiritual community when you go through all the things,
Exactly.
all these
Yeah.
other different spiritual systems. But are we keeping to not just saying, I'm in Ifa, I'm in this? Are you following the principles?
And
are you doing what you're supposed to be doing?
That's right. And even then, you could be doing all
You can
that.
wear 1,000 Olays, but what is that? Tell him.
Yeah.
Really?
That's real talk.
I see that all the time.
Costume.
It's a
you know,
costume.
Yeah.
Everything about it is a costume. And the first layer of that costume is the counter personality.
Yeah, counter personality. Yeah.
There you go.
You know, and then the different programmings. But I had at some point about about people wearing the costumes, like you talking about E5. I was about to say. Oh well. But yeah, so you always got to get people close, have that vision back into their heart and connect to themselves.
Yes.
Oh, now I remember what I was going to say. Tapping on my heart got it right. I'm okay. I might it might sound weird as a practitioner, but through my last little hibernation, deep meditation, I realized faith is a power.
Oh yeah.
And faith has been bred out of people. It don't matter what you're in. Faith is that confidence in your higher nature.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. I like that. Speak that.
But you can't have the confidence without the competence. And that's together, you know.
Yeah.
You said, who says that?
I was like, you need to tell a bunch of people that. Yeah. Go ahead.
But faith, just like love is a power. Compassion is a power.
There you go.
Yeah.
There he goes again. Okay, go ahead.
When you start, experiencing these experiences for the most part in your higher spiritual body, a lot of these things start making a lot more sense. Faith is what pulls people through. I know people think that, you're not supposed to have faith in anything because you don't know or can't prove or something like that.
Who told you that? Who told them that?
In this crazy ass world, that's what more programming.
You might have people on the knowledge base, you know what I'm saying, that, or people in our community that just rails against religions, period.
But the religion is, I'm not big on religion,
right.
But I understand the concept, not construct, but the concept of why it's there for certain people.
Yep.
People need discipline. When we were growing up, there was structure and discipline. So on some people, not everybody, but there was structure and discipline. And we had to do this. And we enjoyed this. But we just run amok on our own. We would just be like some of these kids now. But we would be like some of these people going around right now.
It's what it looks like without that.
Yeah, exactly. Because and also, I would say that religion is a part of the rites of passage. Starting with religion. You might have religion, and like if you have as a child like something like martial arts, whatever, that's like rites of passage. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? Just like in martial arts, you advance through degrees, right?
Right.
In religion, it might start at religion, and then it goes into other spirituality, and it goes on beyond that. You know what I'm saying? So it's all, as long as you allow it to evolve. You know what I'm saying?
And this is Tantra right here. Being able to assimilate everything.
Yeah.
To get the outcome that you want.
That's
Yeah. So that's the real Tantra of I am a universe. How am I going to put these things orderly into orbit? And
interesting.
People don't realize how important these experiences that they were fighting so hard against to get out of. They call them spiritual cul-de-sacs. You get out of one spiritual cul-de-sac, think you're free, but you're really in another one. Looking back at other people in the last cul-de-sac. So you need to come in this one.
Judging them. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's part of the deprogramming.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you a question because I'm getting ready to get a little. The next question I'm going to ask Tim. He and I have talked about this. It's very controversial because a lot of people really enjoy certain things. We talked about people who are always constantly before I tell what it is, I want to. One of the reasons why I say this is because when people give you information, what do you do with this information, and how does it benefit you? So Tim and I have talked back and forth about people who are constantly being addicted to readings, spiritual readings. What is it that you have against? I have my thing. I knew you were going to. I knew it. Say I said this was going to be pulling some hairs on some people. I did. I know, but that's okay. I want to get this information, and why is it important? Not that it's totally against it, but what was your philosophy
Like I said, I'm not totally against it.
on
But what I've noticed are people depending on the spiritual readings,
that? Mm-hmm.
and
What
that
are they
is a
doing
form
with
of programming.
it?
Someone tells you your parameters of who you are, and then you're like, you know what, that makes sense. And then you start filling for the boxes of that parameter. You're like, okay, if it doesn't fit in this box, it ain't it, you know. And ultimately, it can serve you, but it puts it. I'm all into being spiritually sovereign,
Okay.
you know,
Interesting. Yes. Yes.
spiritually sovereign. Like no entity will put you above higher than them, or no spirit. Nothing really puts you higher than them. You know, it's not. And
You don't allow it. You have
yeah,
dominion over that, right?
you have to. And if
Mm-hmm.
you are dependent on someone else or an external force to tell you more knowledge about yourself, there's nothing wrong with getting those resources. But if you're depending on
Depending
it,
on it's a different story. Yeah.
it's that becomes a psychosis.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like verses in the Bible about this stuff like that. I know, the Bible talks about people doing magic and stuff like that, and doing astrology and how that's supposed to be bad. A lot of people don't understand like the verse before that. So I've been working with church people lately, so I have to do my
I got you.
my
I got
stuff,
you.
And them verses, boy.
So
The
the
receipts
verse before
for the
that.
word.
The verse before that says their sin was not they were doing magic and astrology and stuff. It's because they were doing it and they did not give credit or acknowledge that there was another
Source.
higher power.
Reference to
My
spirit.
reference to the higher
They
power.
said,
Yeah.
they said that I was God and that's it.
Mm.
And that's one like if you know how to read it, it tells a whole lot of energetic stories of people who went on the energetic path of cultivation, cultivated what, and their downfall from doing certain things. Um,
Basically, we were going into, I was saying, well, if they are getting these readings, or spiritual readings,
right.
how are they benefiting and what are they benefiting?
So it can create some benefit because it's really building off your subconscious of what you're producing out in your auric field that other people can pick up, and if they're tranced out enough, they can get the information, or other, they have certain connections they can get more information. But the more you do that, the less you dampen your inner God and your relationship with your higher self.
Yeah,
You're
because
not.
we change, don't
That's
we
right.
change?
You're abandoning your higher self
Mm-hmm.
for someone else's.
Because you are put in this box.
You're abandoning your higher self for your lower self. That's how I feel about it. And
But I'm thinking that we change so much. You know what I'm saying? So if you tell me this is what's going to happen here, so if we go back through biblical teachings, we basically can say that we now I lost my
that's right. Go and get it
we
out.
all right. I went, this is what needs to be said. So I was like, our choices, you know, we we make our choices. Our choices change. We can change the way we do things, and that's why when somebody reads somebody, I have the exact saying that I want to say, and it is slipping my mind right now. But help me out, brother.
Well,
So it's like I'm just like we have by these choices that are not.
It's interesting because, like, I remember I had a good brother, master numerologist. Give me reading. He just like just off the grip, just because we cool. I didn't ask him nothing. He asked me for a name, whatever the case may be. Gave it to me, right? It was about 3 different 20-minute sessions that he read it out to me, right? So I wrote it all down and stuff, and I'm listening to it, and everything he said literally came, came to place. I remember another numerologist, what I'm saying, that I met, and he was just like, they were like, they do their own readings on themselves, and it works for them. So instead of going, you see what I'm saying? So it's like you're not going to get hung up on something if you understand that concept of you don't have to go to anywhere else to get a reading. You can see a different perspective, and there's nothing wrong with it. But also, if you know that, what's he know the numbers different than the numbers that you learn if you study? You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? So, but you, of course, at the same time, I've had other individuals, as we all have, just walk up to you and be like, tell you something, bam, 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 bam. Just off the rip. You know what I'm saying? You need to know this. You know what I'm saying?
And that happens.
Yeah,
And
that happens.
okay,
That's what I'm
because
saying.
they got downloads
Exactly.
from something.
So it's, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, there's nothing wrong with, you can do it yourself.
He's not saying.
Oh, no,
wrong.
yeah.
What I'm saying is when we get the information, or anyone gets information on any reading, what are you going to do with that?
Well,
or is it going to make you better, or is it going to box you? Oh, well, they said, I'm not going to do this.
He said it off the rip. He said, just don't be dependent on it. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. My thing is like, I'm not to, you can learn to do it yourself as much as you can, but ain't no wrong with a little help, and a different perspective, a different energetic, on a frequency that's giving you that, but getting hung up on it.
That's what I was saying. Free will. Free will. That's what I was trying to say. Yeah. We have free will. Yeah. So even if we get this path, we have free will to make it sure we can make a change.
Right? Yeah. And to piggyback on what you were saying, like there's different systems out there, like numerology.
It's very scientific.
Kabbalah, they're reading symbols. Symbols, and those symbols represent certain vibrations.
Yeah.
That's different from something being coming through someone else's perception like that. And a lot of times, the information people get is they're able to get it because it's for them as well.
Exactly. The conduit.
That's right.
Disperse the energy.
And when they're giving it to you, they're giving it to an aspect of themselves to you, and you can get right on point information. But my thing is, are you going to use that? Okay. Why are you trying to figure out the future versus how are you going to create the future?
Because that creating is more practical than
exactly.
Yeah.
Creating goals.
Tell me what
that's the goals that we talked about earlier. That's setting the goals to get there.
The sin is not necessarily the sin like the Bible, but the downfall of it is predicting the future and not creating.
Yeah. It's funny because like me personally, I remember I was like, man, I kind of strayed off and working out and getting shape. And I said to myself, I visualized where I wanted to go to be in shape, right? You know what? I did something very simple that got me on the right path. I started walking.
Hey, that's the best one.
That's a goal. It's a short-term goal to get there. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And if you just do a little bit, even imagine yourself doing it, it has that same energetic effect. It starts trickling down.
You can feel the difference
from the top down or from the bottom up. That's how we can work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so it's that's the readings for your natal template. There's different systems like astrology. All these things are readings for your natal template. What's the vibrational signature at that moment? And that's a good place to work from because you need a map of what's kind of my stuff, what's not. But you have to transcend it because the astrology, the zodiac and stuff, these are laws and sections that govern parts of our humanity. But people talk about like astrology, like one of the signs is a man. That's an aspect of the zodiac, And these are gateways to different parts of your consciousness, and they're safeguards. You have to be able to transcend these different things and through the practice and understanding, so you can safely handle more power on the other side. These are all safeguards. Everything can work in your favor or it can work against you if you think that way. But the more you realize yourself and see yourself, the more you realize how more perfect it is.
Mhm.
He's like, damn, I never even knew.
So, with all this information that you're giving, we have to wrap up.
Mhm.
But tell us how someone would get in contact with you
Okay.
and to find out how their process is consultation. Do you charge for consultations? Do you do a free consultation to be able to set them up with their needs?
Okay. So I'm building my website, and it'll have its official launch April 8th, 2024.
All
All right.
right.
So
Yes.
in the meanwhile, you can contact me on Instagram, um, and we can have a conversation. I'm a person to person type of person. I like to feel who I'm working with, and because everything's not cookie cutter in this type of
Not
scenario.
at all.
But yeah, hit me up on Instagram. Starting up my YouTube channel, and you'll have a lot more coming on the way. So
So give us
All
what's
this information is in the description. It's all in
All
the, underneath
right.
here.
All right.
that's right.
All the info you gave me is all there. So
And all the stuff I was talking about, we can talk forever about it, but it's all about generating more pleasure in your life and more ability. You're creating more of an ability to experience high levels of pleasure in your life. How do you have higher level experiences as high as you can? And you need a system and a way of thinking in order to cultivate the highest part of yourself. Yes.
all right. Hey, let me tell you,
Hey.
I think we done. I don't think we done started off our first live studio version with the right person, haven't we?
That's
With
it. There you go.
Mr.
Thank
Tim.
you.
Yeah.
Yes, we're gonna be doing more live
Yes,
studio, and we are gonna really enjoy this tabletop.
Oh yeah, let's talk about this real quick before you go.
Yeah, but because Tim is gonna be there.
Yep,
If
he'll
you
be
want to
here.
meet and talk to Tim,
Damn.
we're going to be doing a health and wealth expo. This is our third in a row of this series of health and wealth expo. And so we collaborate with Truist Bank. And for those who always like, I don't do banks or whatever, some of the banks help you. They actually do. And they're giving free workshops on not only just financial literacy, they also give home buyer workshops. And we're talking about this March 16th. When you're starting your business, having vendors here that are going to help you through the business process of setting up taxes. This is tax season coming up in April. And those people who have those businesses, I know it's frightening sometimes, but baby, we got to tackle it. So we are going to sit here and she's going to talk. This is Mr. Moon. He is the vice president over community relations for Truist, and he definitely loves coming into the community and giving us information of how to build our businesses, how to keep them going, and finding funding. So learn those different ways and skills to improve your cash flow for your business. Also, we have the wonderful Dr. Nuwani, who is neuroceutical. I can never say the name right. Neuroceutical. Thank you so much. But we're going to explore a lot of holistic health. This is a scientist. This lady is phenomenal. And she has two products that are coming out. One, Sweet Calm, that we already know. These people who are trying to do this Ozempic and trying to, when you don't have diabetes, she's going to teach you how to not, if you're pre or you're diabetic, you can get information on it. You can also get information from her on this new weight loss product that you got to see what she's bringing, because the Sweet Calm helps you lose weight too. So that's really good. Just promoting wellness and balance. She is a phenomenal speaker on health. She is definitely the real deal. So many vendors are there, but we're looking for you too. We're looking for about 3 or 4 more vendors. So if you're interested in participating in this Health and Wealth Expo on March 16th, we definitely want to see you there. We're going to have music, fun, and we are going to have horses. I love horses. Horseback riding, $5.
You can reach out to either me or Reiki Services, and we'll point to the right people.
So we have Reiki Services. We know Polka Dot Rabbit because it's you.
Right.
But Reiki Services, REKEE Services, is my at sign for Instagram, website, ReikiServices.com, and also you can do my email with gmail.com.
And we're located by Stonecrest Mall.
That's it.
Black Wall Street.
The Black Wall Strip is what we call ourselves, but if it's across from the Black Wall Street, do not go to the Black Wall Street and look for us. Come here next to the hotel, 7910 Mall Ring Road, Stonecrest, Georgia. We definitely want to see you in the place. We have phenomenal people. And Mr. Tim, talk to him. This is the time to get those consultations in, right, Tim?
That's right.
That's right. So he'll be here and definitely talking to you and setting up. I know you're going to have everybody start trying to set you up, and you're going to give any discounts and anybody signing up for your products
Yes,
or
I will.
classes.
I will be giving a 20% discount
Okay.
for
Oh.
consultations, also energetic sessions, and coaching.
Oh.
Yes,
Oh,
and he
nice.
does very
That's
good.
right.
I
Nice
get some
discount.
coaching for Tim. So
That's
that's my
right.
boy.
Coach you up good now.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay, but anyway, good. You had anything else to say?
That's it.
Mr. Purple
Hey,
Town
I'm just
Rabbit?
happy. Yeah, I'm happy this all turned out because we wanted to do this. Me and Melissa, we talked about we want to start to have more of a what you're seeing here, a
In
more in person
person.
feel. And ain't COVID, so we can, so we don't have to be
Yep,
remote
amen.
everything.
Yes.
We can feel the collective energy. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
y'all
And give
did
that.
good. Y'all doing good.
Yeah,
Mhm.
appreciate that.
We appreciate you coming,
Yeah,
Tim.
yeah.
We appreciate all the work that you have done
Indeed.
in the community, and we want you to continue
Yes, indeed.
in the community.
And
doing
if you
things.
would please come back. We got another topic.
Yes.
We ready for you to come back.
Hey,
Part 2.
I don't think we got to the second one. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
no,
saying?
right.
Oh, I
But
know.
yeah,
I just bust in
as
there.
many
I'm
as
sorry.
many as you want. I'm here for you.
Yeah, indeed.
Because
All
the world
right.
keeps turning.
That's it. Well, that's it. Again, go to polkadot.rabbitpodcast.com. Check out information. Ricky Services. Go there. What's the website?
www.rekee services.com. I know.
I thought she was glitching for something.
Yeah.
I was glitching.
In the
I was
matrix.
like, click, click, click. I know.
But all right, well, cool. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Another great episode, and we'll see y'all next time. Peace and love, everybody.
Peace and love.
Peace.
Bye bye.
Oh.